Good evening, everyone. I'm Ed Shikata, Palo Alto City Manager. I'd like to welcome you to our, what month is this? June. Uplift Local Community Check-in meeting. As we have in our prior sessions, this will be both a recorded and a live session. So the way we'll handle the format is we'll go through a presentation, update on a variety of topics, and then we'll turn off the recording and open it up for direct conversation with folks who are attending live. So let's go to our next slide, please. Okay, well, done the welcome. So we'll cover a few topics this evening, including our progress at the county level, but today really being at the statewide level in terms of reopening and next steps. Talk about specifically what's happening here in Palo Alto with our Uplift Local program, some specific upcoming events and art programming, as well as parking, which we know has been a topic of increasing interest as activity levels around town have increased. So we'll let the staff here introduce themselves as we go through the individual topics. But again, as I mentioned, we'll come back for some Q&A. Next slide, please. All right, and so again, we've covered this presentation. It will be available on the city's YouTube channel. Once we get to the live, to the Q&A section, we turn off the recording. We'll promote everyone who's here to enable and feel free to have a more informal conversation on the topics we cover or other topics that you'd like to discuss. But again, that section will not be recorded so that we can just have it free flow and have also a nice concise recording that members of the community can watch at their leisure. Okay, so with that, next slide. And I believe I'm handing it off to Kara.
Holly, actually.
No, it's actually, so yeah.
You're right.
So that's okay. Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Holly Boyd. I'm Assistant Director in Public Works. So there's a lot of updates and progress in the county and state today. California reopened today, which includes lifting restrictions for most business and activities. There are still limited restrictions relating to masking for mega events, as well as settings serving children and youth. So about a month ago, the COVID vaccine became available to children 12 through 15. And data shows that almost 80% of county residents aged 12 and older have received at least one vaccine dose, which equals about over 1.3 million total residents that are now partially or fully vaccinated. So that's great. Drop-in vaccination sites have expanded, and you can go to sccfreevax.org for more information and details to find a location near you. And then finally, free COVID testing by the county is available on June 28th at Cubberley Community Center, and more details are available at cityofpaloalto.org/testing. Next slide, please. So we are moving forward with the recovery and reopening and moving beyond the blueprint and color tier system. The new public health order goes into effect today, June 15th. The biggest change is that for fully vaccinated people are not required to wear a face covering except in areas where masks are required by everyone, regardless of their vaccination status. So those areas include public transit, indoor at schools, childcare and other youth settings, healthcare facilities, correctional facilities, detention, homeless and emergency shelters, and cooling centers. So unvaccinated individuals are required to wear a mask in indoor public settings, and businesses such as retail, restaurants, theaters, family entertainment centers, meetings, state and local government offices that serve the public. And I would like to note there are several exceptions that are noted in the order. Cal OSHA will be meeting this Thursday, June 17th, to revisit stricter workplace rules. There may be a possible governor executive order to follow pending that meeting. Next slide. And then continuing on with the reopening, while the state works through lifting of restrictions, the city continues to offer services online and by phone, as well as increased availability by appointment for services like building permits. And then I did lastly want to mention some of the changes that the community has already seen or will be seeing soon in and around the city. Mitchell Park, Rinconada, and Children Libraries are open. Computers are available. We ask that you please check the website or call for hours. The Baylands Golf Links Golf Shop is open, and Baylands Cafe is open for dining. Magical Bridge Payland has had the capacity limitations lifted, and the popular concert series will resume soon. Summer camp signups continue and will be held at JMZ, Children's Theater, and Foothills Park. The Palo Alto Art Center is open with limited capacity, and the community center should be able to reopen for general use in August. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kara Apple.
Good evening, I'm Kara Apple with the City Manager's Office. I am helping with business outreach during the pandemic and Uplift Local efforts. Some of the most notable changes and upcoming for the community to know about is a June 22nd council meeting. And during that meeting, we're going to discuss potential changes to the city's local emergency proclamation. While the state has lifted a lot of their orders and are rolling back some of the executive orders, the city needs to, council needs to determine whether they're going to follow suit. So first is they will determine whether they're going to rescind the order or extend it. And then we are also asking for direction on the street closures. And we are going to consider proposed reopening of University in California to vehicles on July 7th, and then the same to consider reopening California Avenue to traffic on September 7th. And of note, the difference between those two dates and the reason why there is a difference is in the California Avenue area, they were not allowed, the restaurants and businesses were not allowed to have parklets there because of the farmers market needing space on Sundays as well. So if the roads will be open to traffic, that will give time for businesses to apply for a temporary emergency pilot parklet permit, also construct it, and it'll also give staff and the farmers market some time to work together to make an additional adjustment so that both the restaurants and retailers who want to have parklets we can also move the farmers market stalls around them as well. So that way everyone can enjoy that outside space on Sundays. And then of note, the parklet program is going to continue. It's going to continue through December 31st, even if the emergency order ends. So we had a separate ordinance to extend that program, which separated it from the local emergency order. And then just a reminder, we are developing a long-term pilot program for parklets, and we will return to council either later on the end of this year or the beginning of next year for consideration of that program. And next, I believe I'm handing it off to Elise.
Wonderful, thank you. So I'm Elise DeMarzo with the Public Art Program for the city. We're excited to continue with the Wellness Wednesdays. There is an event this Wednesday, June 16th at 5 p.m. And it's a presentation on wellness resources for seniors by Avenidas. So registration can be found at cityofpaloalto.org/bewell. And you can also find information about previous Wellness Wednesday topics on that webpage. Next slide. Wonderful. And the 4th of July is going to look a little bit different in our community celebration this year. We usually all look forward to the chili cook-off, but we are going to celebrate together. So on the 4th of July between 11 and 3 at Mitchell Park, no registration will be required, but there will be live music, food trucks, and activities for children. So we're really excited to get everyone together again. And a brief update on the Art Lift temporary art installations. You'll see the bit.ly address for Art Lift up at the top of the slide. A couple of updates. We have 11 current projects as of today. There are more going on this week. Pictured on the left, you'll see the Harker School Art Club that painted a temporary mural on University Avenue last weekend. So be sure to go check that out. And on the Art Lift site, you will see a map of all of the various Art Lift projects underway. We have a number of musical performances, also some musical artists who received grants. And so now that things are opening up, we really look forward to having them perform for you. We are also looking forward to the Code Art Festival. So that will be 3 evenings, October 7th, 8th, and 9th throughout downtown. We'll have 7 interactive art installations those evenings from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're also looking to create partnerships with local businesses and restaurants similar to what's done during Restaurant Week, so that perhaps there are special experiences that might be available to Code Art visitors during that weekend period. So stay tuned for details. You can also go to cityofpaloalto.org/publicart to find out more information on the Code Art Festival. And with that, I believe I am turning it over to Nathan Baird.
Good evening, all. I am Nate Baird, Parking Manager with the Office of Transportation. Our free parking in the garages and lots will continue through at least the end of July. We'll be looking to start enforcement across all districts in August. On-street enforcement is paused while we're working to complete permit fulfillment. And then in August, staff will be bringing forward to the Finance Committee and Council an item evaluating various parking permit funds and permit pricing issues. That'll include recommending a low-income commercial district permit, decreasing the availability of employee RPP permits, and also increasing the availability of off-street employee permits. Immediately after the next slide, we'll have our Q&A section. There'll be no meeting in July, but the next meeting will be August 17th at 5:30. The Zoom link is always available at the upliftlocal.org under events. August will be the last Uplift Local community meeting as staff transition to other community engagement efforts planned in September. If you have comments on this program or other city-related services, feel free to email citymanager@cityofpaloalto.org. And to stay informed, we've got the medium.com Palo Alto Connect for the City Manager Comments blog series. We have cityofpaloalto.org/coronavirus to continue to receive coronavirus updates. And we have the cityofpaloalto.org/newsletter signups to see all other available city newsletters.
So this concludes the slide presentation. Let me stop sharing my screen. And then I will stop the recording. If someone else wants to help promote the attendees, we'll tag team this.
I can do that.
Great, thanks.